You can grow a fig tree in a container, and I'm going to talk about the varieties that's best for container, the requirements for growing the fig successfully. It's really easy, so don't be intimidated that because it's a fig tree that you can't grow it in a container. So welcome, and let's get started. And as you can see, my little fig plant, it might be in one of those 3-4 inch little pots. So you can start these off in like a 12-14 inch container, maybe a little smaller, and just expect that as it grows you're going to have to up pot it to a bigger pot. Now because this is available, I'm just going to go ahead and use this container. It's pretty wide, it's about 15 inches across, but again, I didn't have to use something so big for the fig that I have. Now I'm growing the fig nominal, and this gets about 30 inches tall and 30 inches across. So it's a very compact dwarf type plant. There are some others like the Celeste is another dwarf variety that you can grow. So there are all different types that are available for you, and so that you can have a good success in your container. Now the sun requirement is they like it nice and sunny, 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. And in your container, you want it to always have a drain hole in it. And you're going to use potting mix. And as I always tell you, you use potting mix because one, it has good drainage factor. Two, it's not so dense like topsoil. You definitely don't want to put topsoil in your containers, and you don't want to use your garden soil from your yard because you could introduce weeds, and plus it's probably too dense for your container. So that potting mix has good drainage properties so that your roots don't sit in water, and that drain hole also helps to not for your roots not to be waterlogged. So fig trees do not need a whole lot of fertilizing. They do need some. So I'm going to use a potting mix that does not have any fertilizer in it. Normally I use something called Miracle Grow, which has fertilizer in there for the extra boost, but here I'm going to add my own fertilizer. Now I do like to break it up. Depending on the brand that you use, sometimes it'll be clumped together, and I like to loosen it up. Now I'm using an all-purpose fertilizer. It's a 463, so it doesn't have too much emphasis on that nitrogen, but a bigger emphasis on that second number, and that second number is the phosphate. And you just mix it in. That's all. This is a very simple. And I'm going to fill it up with some more topsoil. Not topsoil, more potting mix. See, potting mix has a lot of organic matter in there, which helps with that drainage. I'm going to pour a little bit more on the top. So I just pre-wetted the container that the fig was in, and now I'm going to take it out. So I got a nice little drink of water in the pot here, or this plastic little potty that it came in. I'm just going to gently break the roots at the bottom, just a little bit. And I'm going to bury it at the same level that it was in that little plastic container. Okay, you press it in gently and water it in. See, super simple. Figs are self-pollinators, so you don't have to worry about having more than one, but you know, more plants, more figs that you have. And you don't have to worry if you have it in a container when it gets to be cold. So let me tell you about the temperatures. So the ideal temperatures for your fig is between 65 and 75 degrees, and it will tolerate up to 100 degrees depending on your variety. What most figs will not tolerate is temperatures going below 50 degrees. So when it gets close to the fall and winter, depending on what part of the country or the world that you're in, I know I have some international subscribers, if you have it in a container, you can just pull it in to your shed or your garage, or put it in your house and have it winter over that way. Now there are some figs that are more cold hardy, like the Celeste and one called the Chicago, but again, they're not going to stay outside in the winter. You still have to bring those into a covered area where you can keep them protected. So you want to keep the soil of your container for your fig moist. So you want to check it, just stick your finger in an inch or two to see if there's some, moisture in the soil. If not, you need to give it a good drink. And during the heat of the summer, you're going to end up watering your container more because it is a container and it doesn't have as much surface area to hold water. So you want to pick your figs when they're that nice brownish reddish color and have a firmness to the touch when you touch it. And it's so delicious. I love figs. Now, if you notice that your fig leaves are starting to yellow, that could be an indication that maybe you need to add some more fertilizer. But don't go crazy. Just add, just enough to keep it fed. You don't have to keep feeding it so much because for one thing, it could ironically damage the roots of your fig if you give it too much fertilizer. And if you give it too much nitrogen, it may not produce as much fruit. So I have another video coming up right after this one. So click on that and check out my next video. And that's it for now. I hope you're having a great time gardening. Bye-bye.